I'm going to do a quick follow-up on the Arksen cargo rack that I got from Amazon. Added the ARB awning to it and just kind of showing, some options for vehicles that are less expensive that you find on Amazon, kind of weekender stuff, like how I use it. That's convenience, but not spending $1,000 for a cargo rack to go on top of the Tahoe. So I've had it for about 6 weeks. Just going to show some of the modifications I did to put the universal ARB awning attachments onto the cargo rack, and also just kind of show you guys what's going on with the hardware and whatnot. I live in Washington. It's been a dry summer, so not a lot of moisture just yet, but you'll see that there's some corrosion on some of the bolts. So I'm going to pull some of those off and swap them and see how it does through the winter season. So I'll quick kind of show you what I changed here. I'll probably tear it down a little bit too for you so you can kind of see how I put that awning on there. It's working pretty well. Yeah, replace some hardware. Alright, real quick, here it is on the Tahoe. Here's the awning. Attached to the side of it. It's on there pretty level. I also have the side tent for this, so when the awning's out, we can attach the tent. Works nice. Easy to carry around, easy to set up. Now, here's some of the hardware I'm going to replace because we're having it for 6 weeks. That's the rust I'm seeing, and it's just on these screws here that are on the top. So I'm replacing 4. The fairing screws are actually in decent shape. Even on the back side and whatnot, they're not rusting or anything. I'll probably grab those though, just so I have them, so I can see how they corrode. Here's the bracket, some Teflon spacers. I'm kind of played around a little bit with the Teflon spacing, and as you can see, they don't sit very square. So I'll probably reset those, but all of this is stainless hardware because I didn't want to deal with anything corroding on the awning. And on this side, I use rubber spacers just to kind of see the difference and see if I get shaking more on the rear versus the front, but they actually both hold up pretty good. So when I tear it down here, I'm going to make a decision on which way to go, if I'm just going to use rubber spacers on those, and this is just to keep it level, because with it attaching on the actual bar over there on the outside of the rack, this was needed to come up a little bit to keep the awning level and not tilted up. So it's the only reason I used a spacer. When I tear this apart, you guys will see kind of what I did with this universal rack that came with the, or mount that came with the rack. So, but anyway, that's the corrosion stuff. I don't like to see rust, and then it's going to drip down onto your paint, which it hasn't yet. But we're going to avoid that, and we'll put some stainless steel fittings on this, and that'll hold up a lot better. So, take this down in a second. Alright, quick look again at the bolt here. See how well it's rusting. Just changing the hardware while it's on the rack right now, just to get these done. It's nice and easy. Here's some of the new stuff. Stainless steel. Just doing 1 for 1. And this will be top and bottom there. Here's the new ones on the bracket. Bottom side, top side. Stainless. These will hold up a lot better than what's going on right here. Alright, got the rack off the Tahoe, and just kind of show a few other things here up close on the brackets that I put together for mounting this ARB awning. And it just sits on the side. This is the front of it.
And I have it positioned like this so I can still open the rear hatch, and this holds tight to the body, kind of as you saw in the previous shots there while I was on the vehicle. And again, we're gonna look at this. You can see the bracket. You can find this bracket on Amazon as well. It's about 22 bucks or something like that. Just known as a universal ARB bracket. And what I did here is I drilled holes through the actual rack here and stainless steel hardware. I'm also a big fan of isolators when you're doing metal on metal. So just some rubber isolators to make sure there's not any noise or squeaks or stuff like that. And then on the bracket itself, I tapped this end of it. Actually, I'm sorry, I used the hole that was there. I had to open it a little bit, I believe, or oh yeah, I did. Sorry. And then I had to tap this with a new hole. I'll show you. This one's taken off. So this is actually a part of this mount that comes with your Arksen rack. And so I punched a hole through here with the drill for this hardware. Here you see some stacked rubber. I was just playing with height. And over here, these staggered a little bit, but I was using Teflon. These don't have as much give, but they don't cause any noise and they hold up pretty well. So I'll probably straighten these out a little bit and then put Teflon on this side. Then to make it a nice snug fit, I needed to recess this piece here. I just drilled a pilot hole that was close to the size of the head of the bolt, and then I heated the bolt with a torch and then sank it in there so you can see the hex head. And that's just purely so it can recess as this fits up against the bracket here. So when it slides up inside, it'll fit flush and the bolt will sink into the poly. And then you have a nice snug fit. So pretty simple stuff. It literally just took me, you know, maybe an hour of just figuring out what I wanted to do, tap a couple holes straight through, gather the hardware and isolators and put this on. And then as you can see, it sits in a nice tidy spot on this rack. And actually I took it off all in one piece too. It's a little heavy, you know, all the weights of this awning. If anybody's handled these before, they're a little heavy, but not bad. I just unbolt the far side first and then move to this side and then flip it up and off the vehicle, carrying most of the weight on the awning. Now, it's been a couple days since I replaced the hardware on here. Everything looks fine, but in a few spots you can see that it's continuing to rust around the stainless steel bolts. Where am I? There. Kind of hard to see, but that's just the rack itself. I just took it off to kind of look at things and consider using a rubber coating bed liner spray across it. But it's not in bad shape yet, but again, hasn't really seen a lot of Washington weather. So all in all, though, it's been great. Man, I've already put lumber on this, not this, more than that. And, you know, tents, bags, boxes, all kinds of things. We went for a little camp trip in this, used the awning, used the tent on the awning. It's a good height. Everything matches for the tent as far as height goes. So, you know, all things to consider. But all in all, you know, this is a good buy. 130 bucks. You know, these awnings are cheap. They're about $199. 20 bucks a bracket. Maybe spend another 20 bucks in nice stainless steel hardware and, you know, looking around for the right pieces. Also, in my previous video, I coated my threads with fluid film. Not getting any corrosion on these threads, and they go on and off nice and easy. When I put everything back together, especially on things that I'm tightening and loosening, I'm going to apply more of that, just a little teeny bit, just to keep things free moving. And I always check things in between. We put a lot of weight on this rack and then take it back off and and drive it, you know, on a daily basis, you always want to check your racks, especially when they're, you know, tightened by hand like this, that they're staying snug. So anyway, that's it. Feel free, if you have any questions, shoot me a message, leave a comment. I can comment on hardware and things like that, but that was just all purchased locally. So hopefully this was helpful and gave you some ideas on mounting an awning if you want to the side, which you can take on and off fairly easily. Like and subscribe if you want. I got more stuff coming. Thank you.